572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Up next, Hard Drive brought to you with the compliments of Rambali's Funeral Parlor, JJ's Paradise, and Joseph Shipping Agency. Joseph Shipping Agency, the only agency in St. Lucia with 24 hours efficient service. When everyone else is asleep, we are awake. Call Joseph Shipping Agency at 484-8888. That's 484-8888. Seafood Wednesday nights continue every Wednesday at the Mangrove at JJ's Paradise. Come get your seafood boil, grilled lobster, grilled fish, seafood Alfredo, seafood kebabs, and seafood pizza. Side dishes include seasoned rice, mashed potato, and tossed salad. Remember to always check JJ's Paradise at the Mangrove, Marigot Bay for Seafood Wednesday nights. A special treat awaits you.
At Randall's Funeral Parlor, we truly care. During life's most difficult moments, we want you to know you are not alone.
At Ram Bally's, we are dedicated to providing dignity, compassion, and comfort when you need it the most.
Our caring team is here to walk with you every step of the way, whether it's in planning a gentle farewell or celebrating the beautiful life of your loved one.
We understand how precious they are, and we promise to honor their memory with the utmost respect and love.
Let us help you find peace and solace during this challenging time.
Please reach out to us at
758-452-2021, Castries, or 758-454-9239, Latuni, Viewfort, or visit us at ramballysfuneral.com.
We're here for you, ready to listen, support,
and serve with heartfelt compassion. You can lean on us.
At Ram Bally's,
we care.
Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and to our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and X, and also on DBS television. Welcome to Hard Drive for today, Tuesday. It's the 30th of September, the last day in the month of September, 2025. My name is Andre Paul, the co-host of the show, none other than the lovely Kina. Kina, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Andre Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
I love your color, red.
I was saying to Nikki this morning, since that's a plan, every Tuesday we seem to be wearing red.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was wearing red today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love red. Yeah.
It's a great color.
Vibrant color.
I love it.
I love it. Good morning to our listeners and viewers as well. Thank you so much again for making Rev-Up St. Lucia 95.9 your station of choice. Kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Got that? Mwah.
Thank you very much for those kisses, Kina. Thank you very much. Okay, before we move on, the menu for today at the Tomaso Bread Place is Bax Bouillon.
Bax
Bouillon at the Tomaso Bread Place today. Bax Bouillon. Of course, you can check out the wide variety of sea moss flavors, including coconut, ginger, peanut, and peanut punch, and also regular sea moss with flax seeds and chia seeds. All the good stuff for good gut health, including the Bax Bouillon.
Yeah.
Because the Bax we have a lot, especially the peas inside there and the callaloo leaves and all that stuff. Oh my gosh,
good
man.
gut health. Yeah, protein.
For me alone, when you see, I make my order from Yaslin, right? I tell her, just give me the stock.
Okay, forget about the
Bax thing. Although it's okay, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. But the peas that's in there, man, I load my plate with that thing.
Especially if it's done with love and all the flavors are in there. You feel like you're in heaven.
That's right. And I like what you said. When it's done with love.
Yes.
That was the topic on Love Zone for today. What is love? Yeah, what is love? It was
pretty
the program went very, very well. Actually, we got quite a few calls. Nikki suggested we open the lines early, which we did.
Okay.
So the calls were coming fast and furious. So I think people love that topic.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So what do you think love is? What is your take on love?
I think for most people, love is often they talked about a feeling. A lot of us, when we think about love, is like a feeling, but it's much more than that. Especially in our interactions with people, it truly means that you're a caring individual in both words and actions. For me, that's what it is. It's about respect, valuing who that person is, who you are, what they think, trust, being honest, being open, and supporting each other through good and bad times. For me, that's what love encompasses.
Mhm. I think we agreed, all of us agreed that love, yes, it's true. Love is a word and it means something, but love in the final analysis involves action.
Yes.
It's an act.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you demonstrate your love to someone.
Oh yeah. I
By
have to agree.
what you do, what
Yes,
you're willing
yes,
to do, and
yes. I totally have to agree.
especially I think when you willing to go the extra
mile, yes.
for that person, when you're willing to make that extra sacrifice, it's huge. It's huge. So the person, now there's some people who know how to play the game too. Huh?
Oh yeah. Very well too.
Some people know how
Till
to-
they get
how
what
to
they
play
want,
the
and
game
after
until
they've
they-
gotten that,
That's right.
Then
Then
they
they-
kind of,
Yeah. Which is a
yes.
dangerous
Very
thing.
dangerous, because you're playing with someone's mind, their feelings and emotions, and that's very, very dangerous, like you said.
Yeah, and karma is going to get you one day.
Yeah,
You don't do that, right? Because you have an innocent person who genuinely believes that you are being genuine,
Oh yeah.
and you're playing a game. So you're going to get your comeuppance at some point in
At some
time.
point in time, usually
So-
it's when they get older it happens.
Whatever
so.
time it happens, you're going to get your comeuppance. You don't do that to somebody.
Yeah.
But let's put those individuals aside, and we're talking about somebody who genuinely cares.
Yeah.
It's what you're willing to do to sacrifice for the person, right? Let me just give you a little story. Because I wanted to share that this morning on the show, but we got so many calls, I didn't get a chance to share that story. I have two stories, but there's one I've spoken about already, and I think it's just a perfect example of somebody who loves you. I've never forgotten it. Okay, it was something that was done to me and for me by a male friend.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly who it is. Dr. Almus McDowell. We've known each other for a long time,
Right.
and we're still good friends. We are still good friends for many, 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 many reasons. All right? Imagine when we first opened up Rev-Up, the man has a radio station, he has a TV station. You know, when we first opened up, he was advertising on Rev-Up?
That's amazing.
You see?
That's true friendship, and it shows caring and love right there.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
he knew what it was like,
Yeah.
hustling at the beginning and so on. He actually supported us. I think he took the sponsorship for about 3 months.
Amazing.
Huh?
Yeah.
Now, that's not all. Dr. McDowell, and funny, when I talk about those things, these things never get back to his, as you know. People don't repeat those things. Good news travels like a snail, right? Dr. McDowell came to an old school party we had up in the Rodney Bay area, right? So while I was there, I'm not into the alcohol thing. So I was really, really thirsty. So he asked me, as he normally does, can I get you something to drink? As he normally does, he'd offer me, right? So I said to him, I'd really love some water, to be honest with you. So he said, okay, no problem. He went looking for the water. Apparently, water was done at that point in time, because we had quite a few people who were at the event. So the water went pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I noticed I didn't see him coming back. So I thought maybe he had left. And he probably forgot to bring me the water. I didn't. So when I went to check now, I found out that the water was actually finished. So I figured, okay, maybe he left. Right. Guess what? Dr. McDowell came back after and that was like around maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. He came back and he had 2 bottles of water in his hands.
Oh my God.
I said, no.
He left to go
He
drink.
left. He went all the way to the city,
What?
He left Rodney Bay to go all the way to the city to look for some water for me.
Oh my gosh. Talk
couldn't
about
believe it.
kindness, though.
I couldn't believe it. I
Wow,
said,
that's
"Oh."
amazing.
So,
Sheesh.
I've never forgotten that. So it was an act, an act of love, because of the way he feels about me. You understand?
Yeah,
He cherishes the friendship. Okay? And that is why it was easy for him to invest here when we were basically just starting off. He had nothing to gain from
Yeah.
that. All right? When we had our first anniversary, imagine he was supposed to there was the night that we had our first anniversary at the market. It was supposed to be a night he already had the night sealed off for him. He gave it to us. Yeah. He gave it to us.
Talk about acting
And
with
guess what?
intention.
And guess what?
Yeah.
He came to our event dressed in our colors.
That's what we said. Support, love,
Okay?
action. He's putting into it, and he's paying attention as well, knowing that you need that support, knowing that you needed the venue, and he listened. Most importantly,
Yeah. He came.
That's love.
He
right
came
there.
with a red shirt, black pants, and in addition to that, he also promoted our event on his TV and his radio station.
Usually people think, okay, that's competition. I'm not going to go there. No. But he didn't.
Exactly.
So that's true friendship right there, and love as well.
Okay. So if we can just now juxtapose that against a relationship. These are the things that we're supposed to be doing in a relationship.
Yes.
Okay. When the person, and you know, I'll tell you something, Kina, over the last few months, I don't know about you, maybe you'd like to share as well. I wouldn't go into any details. I've had some real challenges, in my life. Over the last few months. Some real challenges. And I know, right, what it's like to be involved in a challenge that challenges you. If you understand what I'm saying. Right? And I know who was there. And exactly who was there in those moments. When you need somebody to be there with you and to kind of hold you. Your hand and say, hey, I'm there for you.
And lead and walk you through the process as well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right?
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I've had, seriously.
I've had amazing people in my life.
The death of my brother.
Yes, I've had amazing people in my life as well, because when obstacles come and challenges come, it comes to test you. And that's where the real people show up in your life.
I think you should say these challenges come to test other people.
Other people too. Yeah, that too, to add that to that as well. Because whilst they're going through it with you, their strength, resilience, and courage, or just seeing you go through it, it takes a lot from them, and they too have to practice self-love and to put that aside sometimes and find some sort of balance to walk you through and carry you through the process. It takes a lot from them as well during that time. So that's when you really know who's there for you.
Exactly.
During your challenges.
And I said, I've had some challenges over the last few months there, and I know exactly, right, who was there, what they didn't do, etc., etc. Okay? All right. So, and I'm sure, as I'm saying so, a lot of our listeners and viewers are going through their challenges as well.
Yes.
Okay? And it's time for us to think now and say, let's look at the action of people who say they care. Right? It's, as we were saying so this morning, yes, it's true. I mean, we need to say I love you, right? If in a relationship. I think it's important. It's important. Makes the person feel good. But it's more than just saying it.
It's an action. We need to show.
Exactly.
We need to show it.
Anyway, so let me show some action that an old friend of mine who's celebrating a birthday today. Her name is Sophia DeMille. It's an old schoolmate of mine. She lives in Leclerc. Okay, wonderful person. She was always wonderful since days of primary school, and she still is. But I understand now that she's sort of home. For various reasons, and she's not coming out as often as she used to. So Sophia, a very, very good morning to you, Sophia. I know she's always listening to Rev-Up. Happy birthday to you. Celebrating a birthday today. Sophia DeMille of Leclerc. And of course from all your children and your grandchildren and also your niece Diane.
Happy birthday, Sophia. Sending you kisses. I know Andre will be like, Kina, kiss, 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 kiss. Happy birthday.
Yes, so Sophia, enjoy your special day. Enjoy it to the max. Alrighty? Wonderful. Okay, Kina, anything you want to mention before we move on?
Yesterday I mentioned dating firstborns, right? And science is saying that actually dating firstborns, there's so many good things that come with it.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. But they're saying firstborns are known for their dependability, they're responsible, and their natural leadership. So if you're dating someone, that's what science is saying. They offer stability somewhat and support to their partners. So I guess some of us might think
that sounds to me like the horoscope. The horoscope.
Some of us who've had experiences might be saying something else.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, with the firstborn.
Oh my gosh. Firstborn daughters, that is.
Okay, now I get it.
But while everyone is different, I guess, that is indicate that these qualities of maturity, reliability, just are traits people value in long-term relationships. And first ones they're saying are the ones who are good at it, very, very good at that aspect of just bringing all that to, relationships, so it's fulfilling. Okay, I saw it and I was like, are you serious?
I'm a firstborn. I'm sure. Disagree with that. Who's the firstborn in your family?
My brother.
All right.
Yeah, I'm way down the line. Yeah.
So, would you describe him like you described that?
He's definitely reliable, and he has some, he has that leadership quality. Yeah. I do not know. I've never been. I don't know. He's been married for more than 20 years.
Okay.
So.
Okay. He must be doing something right.
I was a teen when he got married, so
He must be doing something right. Okay. All right. So let's move on, Kina.
Yeah, let's move
to
on.
some other serious things. Yesterday when I was doing the newscast at 7, we had some technical issues, so I wasn't able to go in depth with the stories. I just gave just a little précis thing, very very short. But today I got all the clips and everything, so I think I have a little more information, so I can go a little deeper into the things that we're going to be discussing today. First of all, it has to do with Tyson, Officer K9 Tyson. Okay. Remember there were rumors. Okay. I wouldn't say who started it, but I know for sure. The first place I heard that Tyson was poisoned. Right. I know exactly where I heard it, but I will not repeat where I heard it.
Right.
Okay. So while the police are not saying exactly what happened as yet, I think they say they will have a further update at the next police, press conference. They are basically clarifying that Tyson was not poisoned.
Okay.
Okay, so that's been
relieved.
ruled out.
I'm a bit relieved that he wasn't. But for imagine speculation. Most people were so angry and everything of that sort based on the initial report that was given from the police, because people are going by what they said after the fact. Still, yeah.
Well, the police didn't say that Tyson was poisoned. That was
they
out
said,
there.
They said it was under unusual circumstances, if I recall. So if you say unusual circumstances, you're allowing people to just, speculate at that point. But I'm a bit relieved.
And you will agree, we should not be doing that.
We should not be doing that.
Okay.
I have to agree with that as well, because we all did.
Because
we all did. We all just run with it, and
When I heard the poison thing, I think I kind of believed it.
I was in shock.
Especially the person I heard saying it.
Yeah, I was in shock. Yeah. But if that was ruled out, then they will have to do further tests, with the pathologist and the forensic, team and so on, to come back with more information for us. But I'm a bit relieved that it's not poison. Yes, it's a little bit confusing, because it's taken so long and we were waiting for an update. And now we do have that update. It's like, okay, we still have to wait a little longer for more information. But
I think there's right now they move into what they call a toxicology testing, and that will be conducted, right, to conclusively determine the exact cause of death. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm not a professional. I know for sure when my brother's autopsy took place, I thought I'd have to leave the hospital and come back in 2 days. That's what I thought.
Okay.
He said to me, no. It was just about a half hour. You can wait. And the doctor came out after about a half hour, for true. And he was giving his summary as to exactly what happened to Tony. A half hour. So I do not understand why this is taking so long.
I guess maybe they were looking for something in particular. And now that they've found, okay, well, it has ruled out that he was poisoned, they have to do further, testing to find out, okay, so someone died, they suspected of that, then that's ruled out. Let's do further toxicology reports. So we go deeper to find out what the cause of death really was. So I think they're at that stage. And I guess we trust them at this point to uncover the truth for what really led to Tyson's death.
But I'm happy that the police realize that the public want to know. We want to know. We need to know what happened. All right, and they're now coming out and saying, okay, will there be further updates?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
and
I applaud them for that.
It's good. It's good for the image of the police force. It's very, very, very important, right? Now, so we'll be waiting.
We'll be waiting.
We'll be waiting to hear what's going on.
Not making any further comments on it, though.
Exactly.
We'll just wait.
So let's leave it at that. But let's make sure that we let the police know that we expect to get an update.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they will give us the update. They did just recently. I think it was it Friday? They did something. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and of course it'll be interesting to see what happens next. What's the next step when they finally find out exactly what caused Tyson's death? What happens next? It'll be interesting to find out.
Depending on what the findings are.
Yeah. All right. Also, the police gave an update on the Kimberly De Leon case. That, of course, is riddled with complications, right, as well. The police commissioner, Mr. Gard, said that the case has been referred to the Director of Public Prosecutions, right, for key forensic evidence, because key forensic evidence has gone missing. You remember that came up, right? Remember
yes,
that came up.
It came up, and didn't they say that they found it or something?
No, I think that was for another Shakadan.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Shakadan was another
Daniel's
case.
The noose or
That's
something
correct.
was found.
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
But
right.
this one.
That's unsettling.
So the case now has been referred to the DPP. All right. So the DPP now will make the determination as to whether this case is closed or
Oh my God.
we're going to be moving on because we have this and that and the other.
But for
So he'll
Kimberly's
determine.
family, that's who I'm really thinking about at this point, because they've been waiting for answers, knowing now that key evidence is unaccounted for. Could feel like a huge setback to them. Will justice ever be served? You know, I can't begin to imagine what her mom and entire family are going through right now. You know? Yeah.
However,
But it's a huge blow to the police force as well.
to the
You
image.
know, the image of the police force as well.
And I hope the commissioner and they all basically recognize that fact,
Yeah.
right? Is how the optics of something like that.
Yeah.
I hope they address this particular matter and don't just figure as though we can just move on.
You can't just move on from
No.
something like that. There should be measures put in place when you now realize, hey, that something as critical as, you know, whatever it may be that have gone missing. You should put other stringent measures in place, whether it be install cameras or so on or whatever, and so that never happens again.
Exactly. You know we as the public, we need to know that moving forward, here's what the police will do now, as you just said there, right, to avoid a recurrence
Yeah.
of that situation, because it's not good for the image of the police force. You already have the thing there with Officer Tyson.
K9
okay.
Officer Tyson.
You have Kimberly De Leon.
De Leon.
You have Shakadan, and a whole bunch of other cases. We don't even
There's
hear
some
about those
cases we don't
cases.
even- right,
Yeah,
we
we
don't
don't
even
hear
hear
about
about
them
them.
anymore. You remember the little boy? I think they said the boy was in a vehicle. I think the police opened fire close to the Anglican school there.
Soche Road, La
La Panse.
area. Yes.
Exactly.
We're not hearing anything about that case anymore.
We haven't heard anything in a long time as to exactly what may have happened.
No.
Yeah, you see? And there are many, many cases like that. Many. Not even the issue of extrajudicial killings, the alleged extrajudicial killings by certain police officers. To me, I don't even hear what's
The
the
DPP is handling that now.
yeah,
I
like
think,
like
and
like
it's
a
still with the
closure to
Yeah.
this matter. To me, I feel it's like somewhere in the air somewhere. Right, I think there was an update some time ago.
There was an
saying-
update a few months ago, and that's the last of it.
Yeah.
But it's still with the DPP's office.
Yeah, and the other issue has to
I
do
believe.
with this the high profile investigation involving a senior police officer.
Oh,
Basically, that one, the commissioner is saying this is now closed. Okay, and this was done in
Okay.
consultation. It's important, folks. This was done in consultation with the Director of Public Prosecutions, and basically they're saying there's nothing there to warrant any further investigation.
Investigation or arrest. So, okay. If they don't have any evidence, there's nothing that they could do. If people are not going to come forward, there's nothing really that they could do. It's closed. There's nothing else we should say on it either.
Yeah, because if we don't have any evidence,
Yeah.
we can't be speculating.
Speculating.
You understand?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, let's hope that the police again, to just say it's closed, the DPP is in consultation with the DPP and it's closed, there must be some kind of explanation as to why that is so. Something deeper that we can say, oh, okay, I understand.
I understand. Well, there was not sufficient evidence, I believe, as to to continue with that process. most likely, and that's why it was closed.
Yeah. So is that a closed matter?
I'm assuming.
Kena, is that a closed matter that we can just move on now?
Move on
Leave
now.
it alone.
Leave it alone. Yeah, because anything that we do now is just speculation.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if there's no evidence, if there's nothing, then, well, it may be so-called evidence, but did it stick?
That's something too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, boy. Well,
I guess there would have to be an independent review of that case, and the findings from that's what we were told. And I'm sure that they wanted to avoid the biases of it. You know.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to other important things. You remember recently when the United States, because under the Trump administration, they're using a lot of they like to use leverage.
Right.
All right. The Trump administration, they love using leverage, something that they can use that would most likely get you to do something that they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So these people, they think, what can we do, right, to squeeze some people, to get them now into a grip of our vice, that we have them there, and they have to show slate now.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do what we want them to do, even if they may not even want to do it. And one of the things that the Trump administration is using, one of the things that in their arsenal is the much sought after visa.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go to the
wants
States.
To go to the United States, yes.
It's true,
Yeah, well, everybody wants to go to the
Everybody
United
wants to go
States.
to the U.S. for whatever
The
reason.
land of opportunity. That's what
Yeah.
everyone says. Well, most people say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years, including yours truly, a lot of St. Lucians, a lot of Caribbean people have moved over to the United States to seek a quote-unquote better life.
Better life, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
In some cases, yes, it is better.
Mhm.
In some cases, basically, it's the same thing.
Yeah, some people are still struggling.
They're
with
still
their
struggling. No real difference. At least they have a job.
affairs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes they're in St. Lucia and they don't have a job.
They don't, right.
At least you go over there,
So, mhm.
it's more than likely you will get a job if you're willing now to put aside your pride and this kind of thing and
Oh,
accept
yeah.
what's available, right?
Mhm.
Because there's certain jobs in the U.S. the Americans don't want to do
They don't
that
want
sort
to
of
do
thing.
it. And sometimes there's certain jobs here you wouldn't do. Now you're over there and you're doing it. The same thing that you wouldn't do here.
Exactly.
Because you need to put money in your pocket. You need to be
Mhm.
fed.
So,
Yeah.
as I was saying, one of the tools in the arsenal is the much sought after visa,
Mhm.
whether it's student visa, visitor's visa, work permit, this, that, the other. They have a whole bunch of them, right? So they know they have that and they're not afraid to use it. This
They use it
administration.
at every opportunity that they get.
But
They-
we have
they
to
use
stress
it.
this
Yeah.
administration, the
Yeah.
Trump administration, they're not afraid to use it. Now, they said, or they say, that the Cuban medical program, right, where you have doctors, you have nurses in particular, who are assisting governments in the Caribbean, right? Now, to be honest with you, I thought that the Cuban government were the ones paying the nurses and doctors. I thought so, but I think
don't
when they
think
in the
that's
Caribbean, they get paid.
Mhm.
They get paid by Caribbean governments, and it seems as though, at least in the case of Grenada, that they get paid less. It seems so.
Mhm.
It seems so, right? So that's why now Grenada is saying they had talks now with the Cuban counterparts, etc., and now they've arrived at some kind of agreement where the Cuban nurses, doctors, etc., will be paid on par with
Yeah.
what obtains with Grenadian
what's happening
nurses,
locally, their
etc.,
counterparts locally, yeah.
right? So the Trump administration, of course, they're using that again to get at Cuba. They're saying that it's like forced labor, okay? Almost like a form of human trafficking.
Human trafficking. That's what they were saying.
That sort of thing,
in the
okay?
beginning, yeah.
As though they care about the Cubans so much. As though they care about
There's
the
a
Cubans.
reason that they might be doing it, but overall, now that the Cuban nurses in Grenada, they have equal conditions to their local counterparts. So that's important and it's fair to them now. I mean, whatever is happening in the background, me just knowing that, they're being, there's a balance, I love the sound of that. But based on what the United States was saying, and you rightly said it just now, that sometimes we don't really know what the United States have in their arsenal because Trump puts out information or Marco Rubio would put out some information and they keep the rest, and I guess maybe on, when they're in talks with government ministers, then they would share that information. Sometimes we're not privy to that information. And I guess that's what happened with Grenada, because they did revoke the visa of 2 Grenadian ministers, didn't they? Before that happened.
That is where I was going to go with that, to show you the leverage.
Right.
You remember at least 3 government ministers came out and they said,
we support
Cuba no matter what, and this and that and the other. 2 of them said that they went to school in Cuba, they got their degrees in Cuba, and this and that and the other. They were running their mouths, of course, saying that they support.
They support.
Right? Look at what happened now.
Yes.
They went to Cuba fast to have negotiations, to talk to them and see how we can now tweak this thing to please the Americans. No, sorry. To please the Trump administration.
The Trump administration. But it also shows that pressure, what happens when there's pressure from the United States and what it can prompt governments to review or improve.
Now, let me ask you, do you think that this is something that should be done? To use your leverage to force somebody, right, who may have a contrary opinion, to force them to do something that they probably do not want to do. But because you're putting them between a rock and a hard place. Is that a fair thing to do?
If there's no evidence of that person doing any wrongdoing, then it would be totally unfair.
No, we're talking about
what happened with Cuba.
Exactly. And by the way, they're not the only ones. Others.
In that case, I'd love to know what evidence the United States had before I say anything. But obvious. Because they said it was human trafficking and they were getting less pay. And if they were getting less pay, then I actually I'm in agreement that now the Cuban professionals working in Grenada have equal conditions to those in Grenada as well. It's pay. Yeah, I love that. I love the sound of that.
No, but you have to understand the Cuban government. That was the arrangement that they have. In other words, what they were doing is that they're making life a little easier, okay? For the government of Grenada, government of St. Lucia, they're making life a little easier if the workers accept less pay, because remember, the governments are struggling as anything else. So if they can save a few bucks, if you will, right, by having so you need 100 nurses, for example, working at OKEU. You need 100, and if you have to fill the entire 100 with St. Lucian nurses and doctors, etc., we have to pay them much. Well, we have to pay them well. So if there's some way for the governments to save a few dollars, they would take it. Yeah, they would take it, but that's still some other person is being affected by it. No, but that's not for us to worry about. That's for the Cuban government to worry about. We should worry about it because, in essence, it's forced labor, technically. So why you say that? No, because whatever agreement that you had with the Cuban government, that's an agreement, but you don't know what's happening with the Cuban government and the professionals before they're being sent to St. Lucia. So yes, there's an agreement, and these people are working in let's just say working, on the certain conditions that you have agreed. These people are constantly working maybe the same shifts, same long shifts as their counterparts, but getting less pay. You do not know how these people are feeling. And I'm sure over time, maybe the Cuban professionals may have, gone to the United States or maybe shared how they really felt about that program for the United States to have stepped in. Let's just say we're working. I'm working somewhere, you're working the same place. But you don't know what arrangement that I may have with the flour. But we're working the same hours, but I'm getting less pay. I have a family. But wouldn't you agree, Kina, that there are different tiers in an organization? There are different tiers. Yes, there are different tiers. So you have, for example, a CEO of an organization making a particular salary, right? A CEO. Then you have somebody who's in a lower tier, etc., right? So that comes with a certain pay. In that instance, I get that. But when you have nurses and so, nurses work tiring shifts, long as well, And I do not know what the agreement is. I would love to know what the agreement is. So now because of the actions of the Trump administration, now you're putting more pressure on the government now to pay more. For example, look, we hear how much it costs to keep the civil service going. I think it's about close to $50 million a month, something like that. Okay? So if you save in a few bucks, now that the Trump administration is applying that pressure now they have to come with more money to pay everybody else.
Well, I don't see it that way. I see it
You don't
as
see
a
it that way?
positive step, yeah. Because I don't think that it's fair that individuals are working the same shifts. Sometimes they are more qualified and they're making next to nothing to survive. I'm not quite sure. Again,
I don't think that's
I'm
not
quite
fair
sure,
to say next to nothing.
I'm not quite sure what the agreement is. I would love for us to know what it is, and then we make more informed decisions, and we could have a discussion.
But I already
about
tell you what it is. They're making less.
But they make it
They
less.
make less, yeah. They make less.
But what?
And that's for the Cuban.
What the governments in the Caribbean should do is, invest in your people, send them to get, training somewhere, and come back, and so on.
But you don't understand the wisdom in that.
No,
Okay. Let me put it in another way. We import oil, for example.
No matter how you say that, I still see it as a
Tale, I'm
positive.
just trying to get you to see it from another way. We import oil.
Right.
Okay? We import oil, we import petrol, whatever. And Venezuela comes up with an idea, which was at Caribbean,
whichever.
right? So we can get the oil at a cheaper rate. As a matter of fact, again, the Trump administration is flexing its muscles with India, saying, "Hey, we don't want you buying cheaper oil from Russia. We don't like that because we don't like Russia. We are not on good terms with Russia, especially now with that war in Ukraine." India is saying, "But listen, if we don't get it cheaper, that means it's going to cost more to our people and put more pressure on us as a government now to ensure we can take care of our people, especially maybe they need the oil for this and that and the other to keep the economy rolling." Now, Venezuela is making the oil and Russia making the oil cheaper for these countries. You're saying what, they shouldn't do that? Have it on par with the U.S.?
In the case of oil, it's different.
Of course, it's
In the case
different.
of human,
but the same thing.
human
Same thing.
capital
But
and
anyway, the
people
main
working,
point.
that's something else.
The main point I'm making is that all that talk, them fellas had there in the Grenada government, how it is support Cuba and so on and so on. You see that, eh? You see the fact that the U.S. is, again, leveraging, they're using the
visa.
advantage that they have, boy. Okay? The Trump administration, boy, I tell you. All right? Now, there are some people that don't take that foolishness, right? For example,
wouldn't.
in Colombia, the Colombian president that's there, his name is Petro, right? This guy is almost like the president of Brazil. These fellas are radicals, okay? And I think Hugo Chavez, he was another radical.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's not radical in a sense that these fellas do a lot of bad things. They just stand up. They stand up to the bully, okay? Well, whoever that bully may be, they stand up. I don't take your foolishness. So, head at Petro now. Petro was in New York City. So while he was speaking at the United Nations, on the sidelines, there was some demonstration, right? And Petro go in the people demonstration and say to American soldiers, "Do not obey Donald Trump's orders."
He did?
Yeah, he said that. He said to them, do not obey the man's
I
orders.
understand why he was compelled to speak.
The man, I mean, so the
my
minute
shit.
Rubio heard that,
He jumped
boy.
on. Oh my word!
Yeah, it's there already. Revoke visa.
but-
Visa.
From what I don't think Petro. Well, he should. Okay.
What?
No, I'm thinking he's not. He could still travel to the United States because he doesn't need a visa, I think.
Of course, he needs a visa. Yes, that's the first thing they said. They're going to revoke his visa.
Revoke his visa, but
Yeah, for
I
what
think
he said.
has.
But guess what he said? He said, "I don't need to go to the U.S. I could go to Europe." That's what he said.
Oh.
So here's a person now. When you compare that now to the folks in Grenada and other countries, then I guess when the turn comes, you'll see what happens, because there are other countries that said, "Hey, no matter what, we're supporting Cuba." They said that, right? So Petro said, "Hey, listen, I don't need to go to the U.S. I can go to Europe. Okay, and finish it at the same thing. I can get in the U.S. I can get in Europe." Here's a man who's willing to pay the price. You understand what I'm trying to say?
He's willing to pay the price, yeah, and that's good. But that man has a way of just fueling when he says things.
Yeah, man, Petro,
He's
he
just
off the cuff. He just said,
yeah.
yeah. And he supports the Palestinians.
But it's extremely provocative that he said so, right? It risks worsening diplomatic tensions between his country and,
these guys
the
are
United States.
these
And
guys
he
are
doesn't
radicals.
care.
These guys are radicals. They are radicals, right? The Brazilian president as
boy.
well, right? These fellas, they are radicals. You have the current leader in Venezuela, Maduro. These
Maduro
guys
is
are
another
radicals.
radical as
They don't
well.
care what you say, right? They will fight you. When I say fight you, meaning they will show you, listen, I don't need to take your foolishness. Now you see what's happening in Venezuela there? They're already preparing. They say they're going to declare state of emergency soon, right? They're willing to take on America. Now, let me tell you something. As far as I'm concerned, to me, if I was Maduro, I will just chill, to be honest with you.
I think he should.
Because the U.S. doesn't
Will
play.
not back down.
They don't play.
They will not back down.
They don't play. And they're going to, if I would not be surprised if they remove him from power. I wouldn't be surprised.
But that's the intention. That's the intention.
Yeah,
They
because
want him out.
they want him out.
They have a bounty on his head already.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Imagine the government collecting its own $50 million. yeah.
you know what happened? Remember Hosni Mubarak?
Of course, from Egypt.
Yeah.
What about him?
I'm hoping the same thing doesn't happen to Maduro, where
Oh.
his own people turns on him.
That's a possibility as well. But again, you see, it depends on how the leader treats the people too.
For money?
No, what I'm saying, you
I
remember?
agree with that, but I'm thinking that bounty on your head, they might just think.
That's true. It's very tempting.
Yes, it's very tempting.
But I know for sure, Maduro, I mean, he's not a perfect leader. I
No.
remember, was it last year? Last year, they said Christmas started, I think, in the middle of the year, like in July, right through. Meaning things that he gives the people and make the people feel good. Now, we don't hear about those things,
No, we
from the
don't.
West. All we hear is about how many people on boats and so on traveling to the U.S. and this sort of. That's what we
That's
hear.
all we hear. That's all
But
we do.
the man treats his people, at least as far as he can go. He treats his people well.
And
so
he's been re-elected time and time again.
now
He's-
the U.S. is disputing that, saying that the elections
it
are
was
rigged.
unfair. It was rigged.
Yeah, it's rigged.
Okay.
So they want to install their own servants, if you will. Yeah, that's what they want to do.
I don't think it's not going to end well. It's not
For
gonna end
Maduro.
Well. For Maduro, no.
Mhm. Okay. Obeah. There's a very, very interesting case, folks, in Jamaica, where now a lawyer, I guess they're representing somebody, I don't know exactly who the person is. That case was supposed to be heard last week Thursday, I think, in the courts, the Jamaica Supreme Court. That they want the people who are taking this matter to court, they want to have the freedom to practice their Obeah under the Constitution of Jamaica, right? As to what the Constitution says, freedom, let me tell you exactly what the Constitution says. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the same thing here. I believe, okay? The Constitution of Jamaica, that the highest law of the land, says you have the freedom of religion. You have the
Obeah
freedom
is a religion?
of religion. Yeah, it is. Okay? Freedom of religion, freedom of privacy, freedom of conscience, and freedom of expression. So,
Yeah, we do have that same. Yeah.
yeah, in St. Lucia.
Yeah, in St.
So
Lucia.
if the person's religion,
Is
right,
practice
is
Obeah?
Obeah, that's their religion. If that is their religion, they want their right to practice their religion. That's the case.
Yeah, but it's you practicing Obeah and hurting people. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
I'm still in shock.
I'm listening to you.
And that person is represented by a law. Based on the Constitution and everything else, I understand. But still, did that person hurt anyone?
Well, I mean, when it becomes legal in the country, the question is, does Obeah really hurt anybody? That's the question. Do you know for a fact?
Based on what we were told when we were growing up, yes.
Exactly. Now, I checked it out, right? I checked it out. Obeah refers to a system of spiritual practices and beliefs originating from West African traditions and adapted in the British Caribbean, right, involving magic, okay, healing, and divination, right? But it also can cause harm.
Well,
Now the question is,
That's the last
the
word
question
there.
is, the question is, do we have proof I mean, I'm not saying that's not the case. I don't misunderstand me. Do we have proof that Obeah does cause harm, or is that just a Papi Show thing? You know, you have little dolls, shaking the dolls. Does that harm anybody for true? I honestly, I don't know.
The individuals who have experienced it would say yes, it does cause harm.
But the thing is that I'd like to know ahead from somebody who has been harmed as a result of Obeah. So they will say for sure, here's what happened to me, and there's evidence to back it up.
Well, I don't think they can get the evidence though. That's the thing. Unless if you get a doll in your house or something else, then yeah. But
now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Think of it, right? This is what was practiced during the days. It started during the days of slavery. Okay. Now, if that thing was really causing harm, think of it. I think you know where I'm going with that already. If that was really causing harm, and there was something to it, I mean, the slave owner.
The slave masters and owners, when they found out, they did kill the individuals practicing.
I don't say no.
I know.
I don't say no, right? But the question is, if it is so powerful, if it works, why didn't it work on the slave masters?
I wonder, did we ever...
So maybe we have...
You really think
maybe
so?
we our beliefs where Obeah is concerned are just all skewed.
I don't think so. Nah.
Why not?
I don't think so. I've heard some stories.
Exactly.
And I know some individuals, back in the day, that certain things happened to, and it worked. It did cause harm.
How do you know that? Kina? How do you know that's what caused the harm?
Because somebody
where is the evidence?
There's no evidence.
There's no evidence. And again, as I said, think of it, Kina. If that thing was bad, as they say, could cause harm, the first person it would cause harm is the slave owner, because I'm sure the slaves.
And don't you think that they were harmed in any way? I'm sure they did. Maybe put to sleep or something else. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I'm sure something happened back in the day.
Whoever suffers with insomnia, not bad.
I have no idea. I would love for someone to call and really think. But look, we don't see the power of God. We don't really see him doing anything. But yet, there's evidence of him, really doing things in our lives. So, there's good and evil. And we know that based on the Bible, what the Bible says, And Obeah is, on that spectrum.
Well, that's what that's what we were told. But is that
You're
correct?
playing devil's advocate right now.
No, but it's true. It's true, Peter. Think of it. Right? Look. In Haiti, we know it's practiced in Haiti.
Yeah.
We know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how widespread that is in St. Lucia, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Nah. I don't know.
Because we've heard stories that people go to Martinique, right? They go to Haiti.
You know I've always wondered? If you're practicing something to harm somebody else, why aren't you rich by now?
Well, even if it doesn't get you rich, but at least it should harm somebody. That's the point I'm making.
I don't
know.
And
why not the slave owner? Why not?
Why are you going back to the slave owner?
No, because it's important, because that's where it started.
Yeah.
Right? That the tradition started back then. So if that thing was really harming people, the Obeah, it would have harmed the slave owners already. It has done nothing to them.
Let me Google to see if slave owners were harmed.
They're still in control. As a matter of fact, what they did, I think the slave owners just say, man, this is a Papi Show.
You think?
This is Papi Show.
I'm Googling. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, though.
Now, this morning, I Googled witchcraft, Obeah.
There was something similar in some part of Africa too, but continue.
Yeah, I Googled witchcraft, Obeah the same, and from what I'm seeing, they say it's not really. There's some differences, but all that the witchcraft and so on, it is believed that these things are supposed to harm people. But the question is, do they harm anyone? That's the question.
Yes, slave owners were affected by Obeah through both physical means such as poisoning. That's what Google is saying to me.
What's new?
Poisoning, suffering from serious illnesses that no one knew of. Yeah, so they killed some of them. That's what Google says. I don't know.
But how? Again, I'm saying.
And they had incurable sores.
But how did they know? That's what I'm saying. How did they know that that's because of the Obeah? That's what created that problem. How do they know that? There's no evidence to support that. And you agree that you need evidence, right?
Yeah, you do need evidence.
Right.
But I guess not when it comes to Obeah,
I mean,
because
anybody
you just
can get
know-
a sore.
So anybody could get a sore, but
Yeah.
if you just get up one day and there's sores all over your body,
Well-
and there's no explanation for it, you go to the doctor and so on, and all the tests are saying, well, you're perfectly fine, but where the sores came from?
Well, I mean, unless, of course, you have an example of that to say that person had endless sores overnight, and you don't have that, right? I don't know.
And maybe the other part of just, inciting fear. They just see maybe that.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So maybe we're making a big deal about Obeah. And what's the other one again? There's Obeah. And what's the other one again?
witchcraft?
Witchcraft. I mean, there's another one, Obeah, and another one. I
To me,
forgot.
it's Obeah and witchcraft I know of. I'm not quite sure if there's any other.
Okay.
Is there another?
So I saw there's Obeah.
Let me see.
To me, there's another one. But anyway. So, if that's what the people want to do, to worship their, I don't know, whoever God it is, according to the Constitution, you are free to express your beliefs, your religious beliefs. You can't discriminate against the people. It'll be interesting to see how the Jamaica Supreme Court handles the situation. What will they decide?
Well, they'll tell them that they're free to practice because under the Constitution, that's what it says.
Exactly.
Gosh. They need to change some of the things, Oy.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of scary. Imagine being told that you're free to practice Obeah
Yeah.
based on what the Constitution says. You already know that, but
We
and nothing can happen as a result.
I think in St. Lucia you can't even import certain books.
Yeah, like
There's
the
certain books
crystal
you
balls
can't
and whatever
import those
else,
things.
da, 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 da.
Yeah, the question is, do those things really do anything? That's the question.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't want to interview anybody in Obeah anyway.
And you know the amount of things that we just automatically believe because we've heard it over so many years. We just believe it. So then we set up things. We set up the system based on what we believe.
So Andre, if you leave here and you get to your home and you see a man standing in the middle of the road and he's levitating, what would you think?
I'll tell him, teach me how to do it. Teach me how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Really?
Yeah, to levitate.
Palmware. Okay, cool.
What it was, I remember long ago people spoke about frogs and things. If you see a frog inside your house, what is somebody that come there or somebody sent it
Oh,
there.
yes, funny
We
sound.
believe those things. One morning I was leaving my house there early in the morning and I saw this massive frog in my balcony. One massive thing. I said, what, Missy? I read frogs that size. One massive thing. I just went about my business.
You did?
I went about my business.
No, imagine when you hang somebody and say, "Sound cafe is here." Okay, well, so no. Oh my God. Some people are still terrified when they see a frog, though.
Yeah, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, they believe that it has something. Somebody sent it there. Yeah.
I used to, like maybe 5 years ago, every time I saw a
Poor job the frog. Poor job the frog. I tell you, saw this massive thing in my balcony. I said, what? Yeah.
Maybe it was somebody just chilling and waiting to see what they could have done. It could have been someone practicing Obeah and you just left the person there and you went away.
Let me ask you, are you afraid of the dark? Are you afraid of the dark?
I used to. Yeah, but snow is helping me overcome that fear.
Well, that's a recent thing.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I would still leave a plug-in light in the bedroom and so, but lately, Snow, she kind of whimpers a little bit if there's any light, so I turn it off and she comes and she waits till I fall asleep and just goes away. So that kind of helps. Not anymore.
Boy. Yeah. And
she hates light when she's about to sleep.
Yeah, boy. Well, I don't know. And a lot of us grow up believing dark is evil and yeah. Listen,
Something never pulled your toe.
Here's an interesting thing. Here's an interesting thing. When I was as a kid, we were afraid to go to the cemetery. We were petrified of going to the cemetery. Petrified. Okay? And that's because of those movies you see people rise from the dead, this kind of thing, right?
Yes.
And here's the interesting thing. The Roman Catholic Church has a tradition, and back in the day we were acolytes. where I think they call it All Saints Day. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
So we would now go with the priest, etc., to the cemetery, maybe like around maybe 8 o'clock in the night or something like that. And we all would go to the same cemetery we are petrified of this cemetery. We'd go there at nights and have a great time. We'd be running all over the place and so on, having
you were an acolyte. So and
the point I'm making to you, under normal circumstances, we would never go there. But on that night, right? So because other people are around, you know,
there's a lot of stories surrounding the cemetery and death and what it brings and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty scary.
Yeah. You remember the movie Jaws? As a little kid, I wasn't afraid of the waters at all. I wasn't afraid of the waters.
Oh, yeah, Jaws.
I'd just go in the water, no problem. The day I saw the movie Jaws, that just changed my whole perception of me being in the seawater. I always believe there's some shark around there. Up to now. Yeah, up to now.
Me, I'm that way as well. If I'm in the water, something passes by my leg, I'm out. Let me tell you, I ain't staying there. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And still, as it relates to funerals and so, I'm still terrified. For some strange reason, I can't remember what movie I saw, but I always imagine someone just, just coming out, just waking up from the coffin. I'm serious. Like, literally.
Yeah. But in all my years, I've been around for quite a while. I have never witnessed that.
I haven't as well. But
and the amazing thing too, and just quickly before we go into the shout-outs, there are people that as a kid, right, we quote-unquote buried them, right? We go to the cemetery as acolytes and so on. And I pass in the cemetery sometimes at the Shock Cemetery, and I see those tombs are still there. They're still there. I was like, what? Boy, imagine that these people have been dead for so long.
Only one time, Andre, something happened to me. I can't remember how old I was, but someone died, and we went not in the town where I was raised, somewhere else. And I went, and I think that person was a cousin or something. And I happened to hug, and the person moved. I think that's where the fear started. Yeah. I don't think the person moved. I think in me just going and crying, whatever, something may have happened, but Pamwe. After that, I just always, and when my great-grandmother died, I think I really wanted her. I imagined her just, getting out of the coffin and saying, "Hi, I'm back." So for me, it always stuck that, what, not now, because when I visited Tony, I didn't think, I'm like, he's gone. But before Tony's death, funerals and me don't mix. I ain't going there. I always imagine the people would just wake up and be like, "Hey."
Well, I have a suggestion for you. Don't go to your funeral.
I wouldn't be able to go. But let me tell you, the things I have planned for my own funeral, I think people are gonna leave there thinking, "What the just happened here?
What's going on?"
Somebody did their own eulogy. Somebody is still whatever. Like,
so you're going to record it?
I'm going to record it, yeah.
That's cool.
You know what I said to my mom recently, jokingly? I said, "Mom, just imagine I'm there, right? And there are people that didn't like me, and they're at the funeral. And I'm going to call you by name."
Oh, so you'll have that on the recording as well?
I'm going to call you by name and say, "So-and-so, are you here? If you are there, can you stand and exit?" I told my mom that.
You have a wild imagination, boy. A wild imagination.
I told my mom I'm going to do that. And my mom just laughed and laughed. But I don't think I will. But if push comes to shove, I bet just might, just for the fun of it.
Well, since you said that right now, I think people will boycott your funeral.
Oh my God!
All right.
But just imagine someone doing that. That's gonna be so funny. Jeez, and I'll be like, "That's okay. I'm just playing."
Go ahead with the shoutouts. I'm sure our chimers have a few comments to make on the Obeah thing.
Yeah, they might say they've experienced it or something. Okay, so we're going to do WhatsApp first. What should I do? WhatsApp or no? Okay, Ivy Jr., she says, "Good morning, Andre and Kina." That's from Ivy Jr. She's laughing as well.
Hello, Ivy Jr.
Someone said, police said that it was not rat poison, so it could have been some other poison. Okay. Someone else says, AP, people don't usually do things to force the business owners to put their name in the will. That was today. They would mostly do things to fight down a fellow employee for a little position. I'm not sure.
Lost there.
Okay, not sure what the person was trying to say. Maybe it was yesterday or something.
Probably.
And okay. So let's go to the Facebook platform.
Already?
Yeah,
Wow,
maybe
that's
I'm reloading the WhatsApp platform because sometimes that happens. So let's see. Load. Okay. Josie and Alexander Larcher says, okay, she's not the first one. It's taking a while though. Where's that? Oh, Pius Snappy Yeah Man was the first one to chime in. He says, good morning. Good morning, Pius. Followed by Elvin J. Team Workers. Usual, the eyes have it. Elvin, good morning. Dakota McGuire Cleveland Seeley says, good morning, Andre and Kina. Sends loves and hearts. Good morning, Dakota. Paul Food Baby Henry says, good morning and happy Tuesday to the Rev-Up St. Lucia family and all in the chat room. John McCurdy says, blessed morning to Rev-Up family. Good morning, John. Lilia Victor says, good morning, Rev-Up family. Good morning, Lilia. Josie and Alexander Larcher says, good morning, Rev-Up family. Have a great day. Martha Shop is in the house. She says, bonjour, bonjour. Mr. Andre, lovely Kina, blessed, wonderful day. Peaceful day to everyone. Christine Chowry says, blessed Tuesday to you both. Hi to Shasha, listening in St. Croix. Catherine McPhee is in the house. She says, good morning, Andre and Kina, blessings. Alexandrine Lisa says, blessed Tuesday, River family, Andre and Kina. Jessie Mather says, morning, Andre and Kina, happy Tuesday. My definition of love is the price Jesus Christ paid on the cross for the world. Unless someone can come as close to this, like caring, respect, and being there in any way to support you, no matter good or bad. May Clancy says, good morning to all. Sharon Peter says, happy Tuesday to all. Salette Dupre Camille is in the house as well. She says, good morning all. May God bless and keep us all safe. Sammy Antoine says, they never stated definitively that poisoning was not the cause. What they ruled out was specifically rat poisoning. The real question is, why was the post-mortem examination limited to testing for rat poison alone? Shouldn't the focus have been on determining the true cause of death, whatever it may be, rather than narrowing the scope so early in the investigation? We need honest answers from those we trust and to guard us. Sonia Joseph says, lovely day to you both. I will miss Tony playing his Christmas songs in October and especially playing his favorite songs, All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. He said he loves this song. Barbara Augustine says, and she says, good morning, my Rev family. Our chain, is broken. I'm missing Tony Paul. And Dika says, good morning, Kina. How are you doing? Hi, Andika. I'm doing great, thanks. Catherine McPhee says, Kina, you are right. There is an element of forced labor. Nancy Gracelyn. Oh, Nancy, welcome back. I knew you took a break. Welcome back to the platform. She says, good morning, my favorite people. Kina, I love the look. Finally, we got rid of the cap. Andre, I see you in your favorite color. I used to think that was Tony's favorite color. Tony, I miss you giving us trouble. I miss giving you trouble, sorry. And Dika says, good morning to Andre. Blessings upon you and your strength. I admire you for that strength. And Dika went on to say, Petro Caribe. And she came along and she continued by saying, someone came along and destroyed our Petro Caribe deal, making our fuel more expensive. Catherine McPhee says, Andre, don't forget there is an American Medical University in Grenada. And Dika returned and says, you can't stop a world leader from coming to the UN. C. Chubb says, Andre,
yes. Remember the last UN General Assembly?
Yeah.
They denied visas for, I think, about 80-something Palestinian officials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they were supposed to attend the UN General Assembly.
Only Trump.
Yeah. They denied them the visas.
That should have never happened.
Yeah, I agree.
Should have never happened.
80, I think about 80-something.
Trump is really using his hand,
Exactly.
his power, his influence.
Some of it, supposed to be Congress making those decisions.
Yeah,
He's
but
just
he
bypassing
just
Congress, man.
bypasses and does what he wants.
Mhm.
She-Chup says, Andre, let somebody do Obeah on you, then you will have to have the proof.
Maybe they've tried
Andre,
already.
behave.
Maybe they've tried already. I don't know.
Maybe they have already. I doubt it. Nah. Elma Lambert says, it's for real in St. Lucia, Obeah.
It's real.
Have you seen it, Elma? Has it happened to you?
Oh, no, we're not saying it's not real. We're saying, does it do what we think it does, which is to harm people?
Based on some of the things I've heard, yeah.
Right, what we've heard. we don't know for a fact.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Kenton Henry says, Deuteronomy 18:10-12 says, there shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritualist, or one who calls up the dead. For all who do these things are an abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord your God drives them out from before you. Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. Nancy,
The question is, does God still drive them out?
I'm sure he does. If it's in the Bible, I'm
Well,
sure
good.
he
So
does.
then there shouldn't be any in St. Lucia, right?
Maybe he's
There
dealing
shouldn't
with
be-
them in their own
There
way.
shouldn't be any in Haiti.
You ever heard of the
those places
stories that when
because
this
if God is going to drive them out, right? They shouldn't be around.
You ever heard of the stories that sometimes they say when they die, something happens to them?
Yeah, I heard that already. I heard it was Depale.
Right, and all that
They
kind of
parlay.
stuff, right? Well, maybe that's God's way of,
Hmm.
and other ways too. I don't know.
Yeah, this is.
You don't believe it.
No, sorry, I don't believe. I just said.
You need
I said,
you need a proof.
In case where Obeah is concerned, I'm asking the question: does it do what we think it does? That's the question I'm asking. Does it harm people, or is that just a thing that our forefathers just practiced that, and they didn't harm anybody?
Nah, well, based on what Google says and whatever, I'll do some more research on it. But it did say that, the slave masters were harmed.
They got sores.
They got sores and other things, right? Nancy Gracelyn returned and she says, Andre, the slaves worked Obeah on each other, not towards the...
I think that makes more sense. I think that makes more sense.
Not towards slave masters, and it still happens today. People are working Obeah on each other, but not towards a system slavery mentality. That's what she says. Pius Napi man says voodoo. We were looking
yes,
for the other.
voodoo is the word.
right,
That's right,
Pius.
that's
Thank
right.
you so much. That's why I love you guys.
I think the voodoo and the Obeah, I think they're the same.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're the same. Let me check
Google,
it out.
please.
Yeah, let me check it
because I'm
out.
not too sure.
Let me check it out.
May Classic says there are Obeah witchcraft. Oh, same thing. Obeah witchcraft and voodoo. I guess they're all different, Andre. Maybe some slight elements of the same thing happening, but there might be some differences. But look, tell me. Endika says Obeah hurts who wants it to hurt them, because the people practicing it has not become any better, any richer. Clara Sammy says, good day, my Rev-Up family, wishing all a productive Tuesday. Make it, what did you find?
I find these things are so confusing. Okay.
Just as the way they practice it, right?
So the question is, voodoo and Obeah the same? Right? Answer, no. Voodoo and Obeah are not the same. While both are African diasporic spiritual practices that blend African, European, and other influences, Obeah is primarily a system of spell casting and healing magic found in former British colonies, while voodoo, Haitian voodoo, is a syncretic religion. Hey, you hear that? Religion centered on the worship of African deities and the supreme creator God. Right? Key differences include Obeah's lack of a pantheon of deities, its connection to the former British colonies versus Haiti for voodoo, and its focus more on magic and spell casting rather than communal religious. Well, that's a mouthful. I'm confused.
Okay. I'm confused as well.
Yeah.
Just as confused as what, Wade Williams
Our dear friend.
Our dear friend. Welcome way to the platform. Oh my gosh. And Dika returned and she says, Kina, I won't be at your funeral because I will be heartbroken. Really? Did you ever do me anything wrong? I don't think so. Clara Sammy says, all over St. Lucia, she was referring to Obeah and so on. Arthur Charles says, Andre, you must come to me. I'm the king of Obeah. My name is Papa Bois. Really, Arthur? Good one. And Dika returns and she says, some people don't even care how their family died, but care so much about Tyson.
Of course, we have to care. We have to care.
I'm sure
but I get the person's point.
I get a point. I get a point. Clara Sammy returned and says, God will judge them at the end. Elizabeth Albertine says, Andre, the Bible mentioned many evil deeds, especially the story of Job, where his body was covered with sores and his wife told him to curse God. It was the devil that did Job evil because, one second, he wanted his soul, but his faith was in God. So he cursed the devil and he told the devil, you could have my body and all my wealth, but not my soul. Yeah, and she continued about the Bible as well. Why is it jumping? She says, I believe there is good and evil, and with evil comes Obeah, voodoo, and the various lodges, etc. That's what she says. So you choose the road you want to follow. Arthur Charles returned and he says, good morning, folks. Today's the birthday of the following persons. Cheryl Charles of Massey Supermarket, my sister, and also Stanislas Noel. So what's the name? Cheryl Charles, happy birthday to you. It's coming from your brother Arthur Charles. And also Mr. Stanislas Noel, happy birthday to you as well. Elita Flavius says, good morning, Andre. Why is it jumping? One second. Elita Flavius says, good morning, Andre and Kina and Tony. Thank you so much for that. Seals Rob and Fixion says, Arthur is killing me. You bad. He said he's going to take you to the cemetery.
And by the way, who said that?
Arthur.
Since we're talking about Silton's Rub, let me just give her number again. Because you've endorsed the product.
Let me tell you, that product works like a charm.
All
let
right.
me tell you.
So let me just give the Silton's number. It is 716-8018. 716-8018. Now you see, proof is in the eating. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Here you are saying you've tried it.
I've tried it.
And you know Silton's Rub does help you.
It helps me. The moment I feel any pain, I use it. And I told you about Snow. What was happening with Snow? Snow had a little after the dog attacked her, and it healed perfectly. That wound closed up, and she's fine.
There you go.
Up to now.
There you go.
And I still use it on her.
So if it can work on an animal, I think it can work on a human being.
Yeah, it works on a human. It works on dogs. It works.
Yeah. So check it out. Check it out.
Yeah.
Silton's Rub. Her number is 716-8018. 716-8018. So give her a call and get a bottle of. It's a bottle or jar?
It's a small,
Jar?
container.
Okay.
She has different sizes. They start from $35 upwards, and she has those for $10 as well. So you could check her.
Just in case you missed the number, 716-8018.
Somebody says, I would like to find out why I was blocked on Rev-Up St. Lucia.
Blocked?
That's God more. And Kina, make sure you read my message. I thought we have freedom of expression.
He's blocked from Rev-Up?
Yeah, that's what he says.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about it either.
Rev-Up, you say?
Yeah.
Somebody can block somebody on Rev-Up?
On Facebook.
Facebook? So you can block some... Excuse my ignorance.
Yes, you can.
Oh, really?
You could block people on WhatsApp as well.
Well, I know the
On any
WhatsApp.
platform. Yeah, you can block them, but I don't know about that. We'll have to find out. Yeah,
So how did he get through then?
WhatsApp.
Oh.
So that came in WhatsApp. And he said, I thought we had freedom of expression. Someone else says, morning, don't underestimate Obeah. It's real. I lost my job. I was able to go, that ain't true. Really? Okay, the person said, morning, don't underestimate Obeah. It's real. I lost my job. I was able to go to an Obeah man. He was able to get me my job back. But it had to be done before 3 days.
Wow.
That ain't true. Are you serious?
But okay, let me ask you. So, do you think it's wrong to go to an Obeah person? Do you think that's wrong?
Yeah.
Right. So, for the person who chimed in, the person is saying that they went to an Obeah person to get their job back. So whether
and it had to be done before 3 days.
So do you agree with the person to go
Why
to
did
the
you
Obeah
pray?
person? Good question.
Anyway, I don't know, but maybe okay. Moving on. Oh, the person is responding. Let's see. The person is responding. Oh, wow. Okay. You wanted proof?
Yeah,
There's your proof.
Because I would be
I'm in
reluctant.
shock.
Yeah, I'd be reluctant to go to.
I'll be weren't you afraid of going to an Obeah man?
Exactly. And by the way, I hope you can share the address. Sorry.
Oh, the person said they're trying to call to talk about their
experience,
but we're not accepting the call.
Sorry about that. We don't take calls unless it's some extreme emergency.
Yeah.
On the show. Sorry. But you can share your thoughts this Friday. We'll be opening up the lines
share it
between 9 and 10.
What makes
what's on your mind?
What's on your mind?
Mm-hmm. Okay, please.
Okay.
I'd love to hear that story.
Really?
Of course. and I hope I can get the address.
You just play. I don't believe you. You ain't going nowhere.
No, I would love to interview
the Obeah
somebody
man?
like that. I would love that.
Yeah?
Yeah, listen, I think if we can swing something like that, I think our market share will go up 1,000%.
I don't need the market share of whatever. I don't want to. That sounds too scary.
Because I don't think anybody has ever interviewed somebody who's doing that sort of stuff before. That'll be like, wow.
Maybe you
phenomenal.
could interview one of them when they dégage them. But anyways, next time pray. That's all the power that you need with prayer.
But how did they know how to find those people?
I don't know.
I've been living in St. Lucia all my life. I do not know where these people live.
Do they market themselves? Do they?
I guess there's a way that they do it, I guess.
Shit. But anyways, you know what? I don't even want to go there. I'm good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I guess if you really want to know where these people are, you just have to ask the right people, I guess.
Meaning that they too have gone.
In other words, yeah, there's a certain clique, right? Yeah, a certain clique, and those people, if you know who to talk to,
but
they will
if I
tell
have
you.
somebody in my circle that going to Obeah man, I'm staying far away, okay? I'm staying far away from you. Oh Jesus, man, I'm gonna pray too for them too. But wow, I wonder. I wonder where they live.
Someplace in St. Lucia, I imagine. In fact, no. I think I'm assuming. So it could be they could have gone some other place, some other country.
Yeah?
Yeah, the person who's saying that they went to the Obeah person.
So do they actually who flies on a broom? Is that just, or does it really happen for real?
Well, I mean, I've heard that. But you believe that?
Seen?
You believe somebody can sit on a broom? That must be so uncomfortable.
Just imagine that we have AI and with the technology and so on, and they using a broom with wheels and stuff and maybe some weights.
But no, it doesn't have wheels.
I know, maybe they could put some kind of hydro something under the stick or something. Just imagine that though, seeing somebody flying on a broom.
Well, again, I've never seen that in my life.
Me neither.
And all I know,
Only
it
on
must
television.
be really uncomfortable to be sitting on a broom.
Where did it all stem from? Where did it all start? Because even in movies, who I mean, that's of all things that you're thinking of doing. People on a broom and exorcists, and they have to be a lot of truth to it, Andre.
No, there's this thing that human beings, and we have a wild imagination.
So you just gotta nah.
Yeah. Because you see it in the movies.
So where did the Papa Bois thing come about?
Yeah, ask Arthur Charles. he says Papa Bois.
No, like there have to be some truth to that. Even though I have never seen it, but there have to be some truth to what people are capable of doing.
You believe somebody can actually fly on a broom, Kina? You want to believe that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. You don't know.
Oh, somebody says in Brooklyn, there are big signs saying Obeah done hair,
Yeah.
etc.
I guess it's I guess it's legal. You
And
can
the person
practice.
says,
You
and
can
it's on
practice
my
your religion.
way to go to the gym every morning. Mwepe.
But let me ask you: do you think it's any worse than somebody going to what they call the tarot readers?
Is this, well, they're different. I think it's the same because they're, I don't know. I've never
I'll be
gone,
honest.
so
I'll
I
be
don't know.
honest. When I was living in New York City, right? For fun, I just went to one of those people. Yeah. And to me, they didn't say anything. They told me I'd win the lottery.
And you didn't win the lottery?
That's what they
You
said.
did something wrong, just like that person chiming in. The person says she got the job, he or she got the job back, but we're not accepting their calls for them to tell us what happened. But they says the interesting thing is the Obeah man gave me a silver ring. After a month, the ring got broken and I lost my job again. Well, you should have prayed.
Stories, boy, stories. Interesting,
know.
interesting. So, have you ever been to those people that read cards and things like that? I when I was in New York, I went to one
Ain't
of them.
no way. I too scared for that. And I believe in God. Why would I go when I could pray?
So, what about those? Would you go to a striptease club? Would you do that?
No,
No,
I've never gone. Why?
for fun.
For fun?
Yeah.
And I could sleep at my home?
How you mean?
Why would I go to a strip club and watch women,
No, men I'm talking about.
men?
Yeah, watch guys.
Mm.
Mhm.
No, I wouldn't. No.
I think everybody have their little fetish. Everybody, So for one person, it might be me, just out of curiosity, going to see what somebody, reading cards, right? What it's all about, right? That's one. Or I could go to a horror house, which I have done already. I went to a horror house. I was in New York City, right? I saw the thing there. I didn't get scared, right? And somebody else now will go to go to a strip club.
Yeah,
where I
we
probably
all have
wouldn't go.
our- yeah,
So we'll
that's
have
true.
a little
Yeah.
fetish
Well,
and little ways and so on. Yeah.
Take me to an ice cream parlor. I'm good. Somebody says, ask. Who's saying that? You can't give the person name now. Somebody says, good morning, Andre and lovely Kina. Ask where these people living. It looks like he knows.
Arthur?
Yeah. Arthur, we're
Arthur, you
wanted
look for trouble
too.
for yourself, boy.
I think Arthur is just pulling your leg. He's joking.
Papa boy.
Somebody else says, former witch shares her journey back to Jesus with Lecrae. Ah. So it's on YouTube. So go search Lecrae on YouTube, and she talks about her journey and she giving her life to God. That'll be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. But whoosh.
Okay. You have 60
Now,
seconds.
if I see a
you have
frog-
60 seconds, huh?
Andre, that's on you, eh? Now, when I get to my room, if I see a frog, I'm calling you. But anyways, up next, Rev of the Homegrown, 11:30.
So that's it, you done?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Yeah, that
all
was
right.
just reading. 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. Rev of the Homegrown on the Rev-Up Center. Middle class shoplifters are on the rise in the UK. Find out why.
Middle class shoplifters. Wow. Wow.
They
wow.
have everything, and they shoplifting.
Sometimes they do it just for fun, Just for fun.
Ding ding.
Just do some crazy,
Yeah,
crazy things.
that's why they're doing it, just for the
Yeah,
thrill
just
of it.
fun. Yeah.
Why would
But
you
of
do
course,
that?
it's not a good thing.
But they get off scotch-free. They just go to back to the store, apologize, and that's it,
And pay for the item.
and pay for the item. Yeah. I'm also going to talk about the rarest blood type in the world. It's called the golden blood, and it's only found in a handful of people in the world, and it's very, very unique. Yeah.
So this is another blood type that
Yes.
we're not familiar with.
Not really.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
So that's something else. Scientists are saying sleep doesn't just rest your mind, it actually helps in you losing weight and how your body regulates its insulin levels and so on. I'll touch on that as well. And they're now trying to reprogram the flu virus to target pancreatic cancer. So I'll touch on that too. And gratitude. We always talk about being kind and so on, Andre, on this program. But science is saying that being thankful and showing gratitude, just a simple thank you reshapes our mind.
And no doubt reshapes the receiver's mind as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it really sends a powerful message.
Oh yeah.
It really, really does. And I always use the example of when Jesus Christ, when he healed the 10 lepers, and they said the guys went to the priest. Christ said, "Go to the priest, and he will check you out." When the priest determined that they were leprosy free, only one came back to say thank you.
Yeah.
Only one came back. Now imagine Jesus Christ talking about it. He says, one day 10 of you, you know, and only one came back to say thank you. So it just goes to show.
When you just say thank you, you show gratitude. Yeah. And I'm happy that science is now opening that aspect of it and letting us know, hey, there's so many benefits because it strengthens, our pathways and it rewires our brain. So if you're mean-spirited all the time, you need to work on that.
All right, so Rev-Up the Homegrown is next with Kina until 12:30. 12:30.
Yeah.
Then Kina, of course, continues until 3 o'clock this afternoon. From 3 is going to be Zen the DJ until 5. Then from 5 until 6, we have Mary Polius with Powell Politic. That's from 5 until 6. And from 6 until 7 this evening, we have Doctor in the House with Dr. Leonard Suraj. That's what's happening on Rev-Up St. Lucia for today. So thanks for listening and thanks for viewing. Those of you on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, and also on DBS Television, thank you so much. Have yourself a great day. The program brought to you the compliments of Rambali's Funeral Parlor, JJ's Paradise, and Joseph Shipping Agency. Joseph Shipping Agency, the only agency in St. Lucia with 24 hours efficient service. When everyone else is asleep, we are awake. Call Joseph Shipping Agency at 484-8888. That's 484-8888. Joseph's Shipping Agency. Seafood Wednesday nights continue every Wednesday at the Mangrove at JJ's Paradise. Come get your seafood boil, grilled lobster, grilled fish, seafood Alfredo, seafood kebabs, and seafood pizza. Side dishes include seasoned rice, mashed potato, and tossed salad. Remember to always check JJ's Paradise at the Mangrove, Marigo Bay for Seafood Wednesday nights. A special treat awaits you.
In moments of loss, finding comfort and support is essential. At Rambali's Funeral Parlor, we understand that every life is unique, and honoring that life is our mission. Our dedicated team is here to guide you through every step, offering personalized services that reflect the cherished memories of your loved one. From traditional funerals to modern celebrations of life, we provide a range of options tailored to your family's wishes. Whether it's a simple service or an elaborate tribute, we ensure every detail is handled with care. Let us help you create a meaningful farewell, honoring the legacy of your loved one. To learn more about our services, call 758-452-2021 Castries, 758-454-9239 Viewfort. Visit us at www.rambalisfuneral.com. Rambali's Funeral Parlor, where memories are cherished and love is everlasting.
The alpha of radio is on 95.9.